I'm Kaylee Hamill with Braveheart Beasts, and I'm here to bring you another tip for Tip Tuesday. Today I'm here at NEER North with my friend Marvel, who's a 12-year-old Halflinger gelding, and I'm going to be showing you how to teach your horse to drop their pole. All that's going to look like is that when I put pressure down on the lead rope, connected to the halter, he's just going to soften his pole for me and drop his head toward the ground. This is something I like to teach my horses for a couple reasons. The very first is that a horse with a relaxed pole is a relaxed horse. So if we ever have a horse who's in a situation where they're a little bit worked up, this gives us basically a button to just ask them to chill out and take a deep breath. Along with that, especially with taller horses, I like to teach them this for haltering and for bridling so that I can ask them to put their heads down where it's really easy for me to reach, put their bridles on or a halter, and then go off to work. So what I'm going to do with Marvel is I'm going to teach this in a sequence. So horses are pattern learners, which means that if A means B means C, eventually horses will learn that A means C. So my goal here isn't to pull his head to the ground, it's to teach him to soften, to relax this part of his head with the lightest amount of pressure possible. So what you're going to see me do is the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach my hand under and just close my hand around the lead rope. This eventually will be all I need to get him to drop his head. I haven't worked with him a lot on this. So this is going to be my A, my ask. This is going to go in a sequence I like to call it ask, request, demand. So this is my ask, which right now he obviously doesn't understand. My request is just going to be a little bit more of a downward pressure. And then there, really subtle, but he did move his head. I want to just kind of build up this pressure until he softens, and as soon as he softens like that, even if it's just a tiny little bit at first, I'm gonna release. Right, so let's go through it again. So I'm gonna close my hand around the lead rope, and so even there, he's already catching on. Right, so here, I'm just gonna close my hand, down he goes, close it again, and again, and so I'm just gonna work his nose until he's all the way down at the ground, and if he comes up, I'm just going to close my hand around the lead rope again and release every time he comes down. Good. So once he's soft there, I'll stand up, he can raise his head up, we'll take a little pause and then we'll go through it again. So here, I'm just going to close my hand, wait for him, I'm going to add a little bit of pressure until he gives like that. Just going to ask him to look back towards me. Down we go, and one more time. Good. And so I like to start this with the halter and the lead rope. Eventually when he gets really soft, I'll make my ask, my hand on top of his head, and then I'll reintroduce it with the lead rope so that eventually when I put up my hand, he'll drop his head for me so I can put on a halter or bridle, ask him to relax, and do whatever I have to do. All right, folks, that's it for today. I hope you found that helpful, and I will see you next week.